Listen closely, because what I'm about to say isn't for everyone. Most will click away, too weak to face the truth. But you stayed. That means somewhere inside you, there's a hunger, a fire. Life has beaten you, hasn't it? Left scars no one sees. And yet, here you are searching for meaning, searching for strength. Good. Because tonight, you'll hear what no one dares to admit. Pain isn't your enemy, it's your crown. Fear isn't your cage, it's your weapon. Stay till the end, and if my words strike you, subscribe so you never miss the madness again. Pain, it's the first language we all understand. The cry of a newborn, the sting of the cold air, the emptiness of hunger. From the very beginning, pain whispers in our ears, "Welcome to the show." And yet, people spend their entire lives running from it, hiding behind smiles, chasing pleasures, pretending they can silence it. They don't understand pain isn't the enemy. Pain is the architect of kings. You see, the world teaches you to worship comfort, to seek happiness, to chase security, to wrap yourself in blankets of illusion. But comfort is a liar. Comfort makes you weak. Comfort steals your crown before you ever even wear it. The truth is simple. Without pain, you're nothing but clay, soft, shapeless, easily broken. Pain is the fire that forges steel. Every scar you carry is a line of scripture, carved into your skin by the hand of suffering. It's a story that no one else can tell. You bled, you screamed, you fell, but you got up, and that is what makes you king. Not the applause, not the money, not the titles. No, it's the nights you thought you wouldn't survive, but you did. Those nights crown you in silence. People think kings are born. No, kings are made in the dark, in the silence when no one's watching, in the moments when pain crushes your ribs and you can barely breathe, but you keep breathing anyway. That's the birth of pain, the moment when suffering should have killed you, but instead gave you power. And yet society, how? Society tells you pain is weakness, that you should cover it, hide it, bury it beneath fake smiles and motivational slogans. But listen closely, weakness is not pain. Weakness is running from it. Weakness is refusing to face it. Weakness is pretending it isn't there. But the one who looks pain in the eye laughs and says, "Is that all you've got?" That one is untouchable. Pain doesn't just break you. Pain remakes you. Every betrayal, every rejection, every heartbreak, it's another hammer strike on the crown being forged for your head. Each time you feel your world collapse, it's only the universe testing your foundation. If it crumbles, you were never meant to rule. If it holds, you are already a king. You want to know the cruel joke? Everyone is pain, everyone bleeds, but only a few learn to wear it. Most cry about it, complain, curse the world, blame their fate. And then there are the rare ones, the twisted ones, the ones who see pain as a gift. They stop asking, "Why me?" and start whispering, "Try me." Because here's the truth, pain gives you a throne no one can steal. Money can vanish, status can be stripped, crowns of gold can be stolen. But the crown forged in agony, that one sits deep inside your soul. You don't wear it on your head, you wear it in your eyes. People can see it when you walk into a room. They can feel it when you speak. They know, without knowing why, that you've been through fire. And the fire didn't burn you, it crowned you. Think about it, who do you fear more? The man who has never been broken, or the one who's been shattered 1,000 times and still laughs in your face? The first man is fragile, the second one is immortal. Pain gave him a throne no sword can touch. And let me tell you another secret, the world respects pain. They won't admit it, but they do. When you wear your scars like medals, people lower their voices. They sense you're not ordinary, that you don't break like them. That's the silent authority of pain. It crowns you without ceremony. No trumpets, no audience, just silence and respect. So, the birth of pain isn't a tragedy. It's an initiation, a baptism in suffering that either drowns you or awakens you. Most drown, but the ones who awaken, they become kings. Not kings who need approval, not kings who need followers, but kings of themselves. And once you rule yourself, no one else can rule you. Pain crowned me king, not because I wanted it, not because I asked for it, but because I survived it. And survival, raw, brutal, bloody survival, is more royal than any throne carved by man. That's the birth of pain. That's where kings are born. And if you're listening, maybe it's where you'll be born too. Scars, They're funny little things. Most people hide them. They cover them with makeup, with clothes, with silence. They pray no one notices. But me, I wear mine like jewels, because each scar, it's a story, a reminder, proof that something tried to break me and failed. You see, society loves beauty. Smooth skin, perfect smiles, untouched surfaces. But beauty lies, scars don't. A scar doesn't pretend, it doesn't fake a smile for the camera. It doesn't care if you like it or not. A scar is brutally honest. It screams, yes, I was hurt. Yes, it was ugly, but I survived. And survival, my friend, is a crown. People think crowns are shiny, made of gold, sitting on velvet cushions in glass cases, fragile, decorative, but a real crown. No, a real crown is carved out of wounds. Every cut on your soul, every betrayal you swallowed, every night you spent choking on your own silence, they were chiseling your crown. The world doesn't hand out crowns. It hands out knives. And when those knives cut deep, they shape you into something unbreakable. You can't steal this crown. You can't buy it. You can't fake it. Because scars cannot be counterfeited. They belong to you. Think about it. A scar means you didn't stay down. The world stabbed, life punched, fate spat in your face. And yet here you are, breathing, watching. That means you won. Doesn't matter how ugly the scar looks. It's the medal you earned in the war nobody saw. The scar is a crown because it sits on you forever. You can't take it off when you're tired. You can't misplace it. It won't rust. And unlike a crown of gold, no one will ever try to steal it from you. Why? Because most people fear scars. They fear the truth behind them. They fear what they remind them of. But you understand. You want power, real power. Stop polishing fake smiles and start polishing your scars. Show them, wear them, laugh at them. Because the moment you embrace your scars, they stop being wounds. They stop being shame. They become armor. They become your crown. Every scar whispers, I hurt you once, but I couldn't end you. That whisper is louder than applause, louder than compliments, louder than crowns of gold. Because applause fades, compliments rot, gold gets stolen. But scars live forever. The cruel irony, people fear scars more than they fear kings. They'll bow to gold, they'll respect titles, but scars make them uncomfortable. Scars remind them of their own fragility, their own weakness, the pain they try to avoid. That's why scars are dangerous. They don't just crown you, they make others tremble. Because your scar says, I've been through hell and I walked out smiling. What did they have to fight back with? Their clean skin, their fake crown, nothing. So the next time you look at your scars, physical, emotional, invisible, don't pity yourself. Don't curse them. Don't wish them away. Touch them. Remember them. Smile at them. Because they are the proof you are not fragile porcelain. You are iron, you are stone, you are untouchable. And when you walk into a room with that silent crown on your head, the one no one can see but everyone can feel, trust me, they'll notice. They'll feel it in their bones. That unshakable presence, that weight of pain turned into power. That's the kind of crown no throne can buy. So let them hide their scars. Let them bury their pain in makeup and alcohol and fake happiness. You don't need to. You've already been crowned. Your scars, they're not ugly. They're not weaknesses. They are crowns. And once you wear that truth, you don't need anyone's permission to rule. Because rulers made of gold can be dethroned. But rulers crowned by pain, they never fall. Funny, isn't it? The things they hide are the very things that make them kings. Happiness. Everyone wants it. Everyone chases it. Everyone pretends they have it. But here's the punchline. Happiness isn't real. It's a mask, a painted smile on a broken face. And masks, oh, they always crack. People wake up, drag themselves into routines they hate, into jobs they despise, into lives they never chose. And yet they post pictures with captions. So happy, so blessed. A lie wrapped in pixels. They laugh at jokes they don't find funny. They say, I'm fine, when they're drowning. They smile, but inside they're screaming. That's happiness for you. A performance, a circus act, a joke. You see, pain doesn't lie. When you break, you bleed. When you fall, you scar. When you cry, your eyes burn red. Pain doesn't hide behind filters. It doesn't need rehearsed words. It's honest, brutally honest. Happiness is a mask, but pain is the truth underneath. And the world worships the mask. They applaud the smile, they fear the tear. They want you to look happy, act happy, be happy. They don't care if you're dying inside. They just want the show. Because happiness makes them comfortable, pain makes them nervous. And society would rather live a lie than face the truth. But here's where it gets funny. The same people who run from pain will never understand power, because only those who embrace pain, those who sit with it, breathe it, own it, only they see the world without illusions. Happiness blinds you, pain opens your eyes. Think about it. When have you grown the most? In comfort, in laughter, in joy? No. Growth comes when you're crushed, when your back is against the wall, when you're shattered. Happiness is a lullaby that puts you to sleep. Pain is the alarm clock that rips you awake. And yet they keep selling happiness like it's salvation. Motivational quotes, self-help books, influencers grinning with their perfect lives. It's all a scam because deep down they know the truth. They hurt, they fear, they bleed just like you. But they'll never admit it, because admitting pain means dropping the mask. And people are terrified of being seen without their disguise. Do you want to know the real joke? The joke is that everyone is miserable, but everyone keeps acting like they're happy, just so no one suspects they're miserable. A never-ending theater of liars, clapping for each other's masks. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't it hilarious? Happiness is fragile. One bad day can shatter it. One betrayal, one loss, one phone call. And suddenly that mask slips, the paint melts, and underneath there it is. The pain they've been hiding, the truth they've been denying, the face they're afraid to show. But pain doesn't shatter. Pain is consistent, pain is loyal, pain stays when happiness runs. Pain doesn't leave when the lights go out, when the crowd is gone, when you're alone. Pain is always there. And if you can learn to love it, if you can wear your pain instead of hiding it, then you'll never need happiness again. That's what makes it funny. Everyone is chasing happiness, but the ones who embrace pain, they already won. They stopped playing the game. They stopped chasing illusions. They don't need to be happy. There's something stronger, something darker, something untouchable. You want to know the truth about happiness? It's a lie society sells to keep you weak. They want you chasing it like a dog chasing its tail. They want you desperate for approval, addicted to the mask, terrified of losing the smile. Because as long as you're chasing happiness, you're controllable. But the moment you stop caring, the moment you laugh at the joke, the moment you say, I don't need to be happy, I just need to be real, that's when you become dangerous. So go ahead. Keep smiling for the camera. Keep posting your fake joy. Keep laughing when you want to cry. Keep clapping for the masks. But remember this, one day the mask will slip, and when it does, everyone will see the truth. The pain you tried to bury, the fear you tried to hide, the emptiness behind the grin. And maybe, just maybe, you'll realize what I already know. Happiness is the biggest joke of all. Pain is the punchline. And once you laugh at it, once you wear it like a crown, you stop needing happiness altogether. Because happiness is temporary, pain is forever. And forever is where kings are made. Tell me, are you happy? Or are you just wearing the mask, fear? That invisible chain wrapped around every neck. You don't see it, but you feel it every time you breathe. Every choice you make, every step you take, controlled. Fear is the quiet whisper that tells you, don't try, you'll fail. Fear is the invisible hand that slams the door before you even knock. Most people never fight it, they live bowing to it. They obey it. And the tragedy is, they think they're free. Look around. People wake up every morning not because they want to, but because they're terrified of being broke, terrified of losing the job they hate, terrified of disappointing people who don't even care about them. They call it responsibility. I call it fear's masterpiece. Fear makes slaves without chains, prisoners without walls. You don't need bars to lock someone up. You just need to make them scared of what's outside. And that's what society did to you. It trained you like a dog. Step out of line and you get shocked. Speak your mind and you get punished. So you learned to crawl when you wanted to run, to whisper when you wanted to scream, and you called it maturity. But the truth, fear owns you. It decides who you are allowed to be. Think about it. Why do people hide their dreams? Fear of being laughed at, Why do people stay in toxic relationships? Fear of being alone. Why do people swallow their words, bury their anger, and smile when they want to cry? Fear of rejection. Fear of being judged. Fear of being left behind. Fear is not just an emotion. It's the most effective form of control. You don't even need an army to rule millions. Just give them something to be afraid of. Fear is the dictator, and you're the obedient subject. But here's the joke. Fear itself is nothing. It has no hands, no teeth, no bullets. Fear is only imagination, and still, it cages you better than steel. That's the trick. People suffer more in their minds than in reality. They bow to ghosts that don't even exist. You think you're free. Then ask yourself, when was the last time you did something without asking? What will they think? That voice in your head, that's fear. Fear of people who are just as lost as you, just as weak as you, just as scared as you. And yet you treat their opinions like a judge's gavel. Fear builds illusions. It tells you there's a monster at the door, but the moment you open it, you realize nothing. Just silence. Just emptiness. The monster was never there. The chain was never locked. You were always free, but fear convinced you otherwise. That's why the moment you laugh at fear, you break it. The moment you say, "So what if I fail?" The moment you whisper, "So what if they laugh?" The chain cracks. And when the chain breaks, people can't touch you anymore, because the only weapon they had was your own fear. Once you drop it, they're powerless. That's what makes someone untouchable. Not muscles, not money, not power. Untouchable is when fear doesn't live inside you anymore. When you no longer obey the whispers. When you walk through fire not because you're unburnt, but because you're unafraid of the burn. Do you know why people fear death? Because they've never lived. A man who truly lived cannot be threatened with dying, and a man who has made peace with pain cannot be broken with fear. Fear is the invisible chain, and the world wants you chained. Because a chained man is predictable, controllable, profitable. A chained man will work a job he hates, buy things he doesn't need, impress people he doesn't like. A chained man is safe for them, but useless for himself. So here's the question: how long will you keep wearing that chain? How long will you let fear choke your throat? How long will you bow down to shadows? Because the day you laugh at fear, you rise. The day you spit in its face, you stop being a slave. That's the day you step into madness. And madness, oh, madness is freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is being unafraid of the consequences. Freedom is the death of fear. Most will never taste it. They will rot in invisible prisons, chains digging deeper into their skin, calling it normal life. But the few who dare to break it, the few who dare to laugh, they become untouchable. Fear controls everyone. But once you kill fear, nothing controls you. Not them, not their rules, not even death. And that, my friend, that's when the invisible chain snaps and you finally hear it. The sound of your own laughter echoing through the silence. Because fear kept you quiet, but freedom makes you laugh. Untouchable, ha? What does that even mean? People think it's about muscles, money, or armies standing behind you. But that's the lie, the truth. Being untouchable is not about the world fearing you. It's about you no longer fearing the world. Most people walk through life like fragile glass, afraid of breaking, afraid of being judged, afraid of being rejected, afraid of losing. And every day that fear makes them smaller, weaker, slaves. They hide their truth because someone might laugh. They bury their dreams because someone might disapprove. They lock their spirit because someone might leave. Pathetic. Do you know when you truly become dangerous? When you stop caring? When rejection doesn't sting, when loss doesn't crush you, when pain doesn't scare you. That's when the chains snap. That's when you step into a world where nothing and no one can touch you anymore. A laughs quietly, sinisterly. Imagine this: they threaten to fire you, you laugh. They threaten to leave you, you smile. They threaten to destroy you, you whisper. I've already been destroyed before, and I survived. What can they take from someone who has already lost it all? What can they break in someone who has already lived broken? Nothing. That's the secret. See, bravery, that's still fear. Bravery is stepping forward even though you're shaking inside. But untouchable is madness. It's when the fear is gone, erased, burned out of you by pain, suffering, loss. When you've been through enough storms that rain feels like nothing but a joke. That's not bravery, that's evolution. The world tries to tame you with fear. They want you to bow. Fear of losing money, fear of losing reputation, fear of losing comfort. But once you stop fearing those things, you become unstoppable, untouchable. Because you can't blackmail a man who doesn't care about loss. You can't threaten someone who isn't afraid of dying. You can't control the one who laughs at the very chains that hold the rest. And here's the twist, the punchline. The cruel joke, the very moment you stop fearing is the exact moment they start fearing you. Because suddenly you're free, free to speak the truth, free to take risks, free to walk away from anything, anyone, and nothing terrifies people more than someone they can't control. A pauses, then whispers slowly. Untouchable doesn't mean bulletproof. It doesn't mean pain can't reach you. It means pain no longer rules you. It means you look pain in the eye and say, "You crowned me once, I wear you proudly." It means fear knocks on your door and you don't even bother answering. Think about it, every empire, every ruler, every leader in history was feared. But deep down, they themselves were terrified of losing it all. That's why they guarded their throne so desperately. That's why their crowns shook. But the man who is untouchable, his crown doesn't fall because it's nailed to his skull with scars. He doesn't fear loss because he already knows what it tastes like. See Lynn's forward, mocking tone. You want to be untouchable. Stop fearing. Stop begging for approval. Stop worshiping comfort. Stop letting their opinions chain you. The second you do that, you'll see. They can't reach you anymore. They can't wound you because the wounds have already been carved. They can't scare you because you've already stared into the dark. They can't silence you because you don't need their applause. The man without fear is free. The man without fear is dangerous. The man without fear is untouchable. And once you taste that freedom, once you realize nobody can touch you anymore, you'll never go back to being their slave, ever again. They parade in suits, they shine in their mansions, they smile for cameras. These are the kings society worships, politicians, bosses, influencers, the powerful. But look closely, their crowns are fragile. Their power is not real, it's borrowed. It survives only as long as people fear losing something. A politician isn't powerful because he's strong. He's powerful because people fear the system, fear the loss of jobs, freedom, safety. His crown isn't gold, it's paper. Tear the paper, the crown is gone. The businessman, the so-called boss, sits high on his chair. People call him king of his company, but his power, it exists only because employees fear losing their paycheck. Strip away the fear of hunger and his throne collapses. Even the influencer, the one society worships on glowing screens, their crown is built from likes, from attention, from fragile validation. The moment people stop watching, stop caring, the crown disappears. Fame is the weakest kingdom of them all. Now compare that to pain. Pain doesn't depend on applause. Pain doesn't need votes. Pain doesn't vanish when the Wi-Fi cuts off. Pain is eternal, and from pain, a different crown is forged scar by scar, wound by wound. That crown cannot be stolen. No one can vote it out. No audience can cancel it. No boss can fire it, because it lives inside you. The so-called kings of society live in constant fear. They smile, but their eyes tremble. They hide, but their minds shake. They are chained to fear. Fear of losing status, fear of being exposed, fear of irrelevance. That is their weakness. And that is where the crown of pain becomes superior. When pain crowns you king, you owe nothing to anyone. You don't need an audience. You don't need applause. You don't need obedience. Because your throne is built inside your chest, and your crown is welded into your scars. Society's kings are fragile because their power exists only as long as others believe in it. Stop believing, and the king is naked. Stop fearing, and the king is nothing. But a king of pain doesn't need belief. He doesn't need recognition. His crown isn't polished, it bleeds. His throne isn't velvet, it burns. And yet it stands stronger than gold, stronger than lies, stronger than the fragile kingdoms built on fear. Ask yourself, who is truly untouchable? The politician who hides behind bodyguards, the boss who collapses without money, the influencer who disappears without attention, or the man who has faced pain so deep that nothing left in this world can break him? The answer is simple. The fragile kings rule outside, but the true king rules inside. And when you rule inside, no one can touch you. Their crowns are fragile, yours is eternal. That's why pain crowned me king and fear made me untouchable. Darkness. The very word makes people tremble. They treat it like a monster hiding under the bed, like a ghost stalking them in the silence. But here's the truth. Darkness is not the enemy. Darkness is the mirror. It shows you who you really are when the lights are gone and the masks fall off. People fear it because it strips away illusions. In the dark, you can't hide your scars, your regrets, your failures. And that's why they run. They drown themselves in noise and distractions and fake smiles just so they don't have to sit alone with their own shadows. But me, I didn't run. I stopped. I turned around. And I invited the darkness to dance. You see, when you finally accept the shadows inside you, something strange happens. The fear dissolves. The demons you thought were chasing you, they were only waiting for you to face them. And when you do, you don't just see monsters, you see teachers. Pain, betrayal, loneliness, failure, every single one becomes a lesson carved into your soul. The world says, be positive, be happy, avoid the dark. But tell me, how do you become strong if you never face what breaks you? How do you claim power if you keep running from what terrifies you? I learned this strength isn't built in sunlight. It's built in the shadows when you've lost everything, when you're alone, when the only voice left is the one inside your head. That's when you discover who you are. People think light is freedom. No, light blinds, it distracts, it shows you the surface and hides the truth. But darkness reveals. It strips away comfort, it forces you to confront reality raw and unfiltered. And here's the beautiful irony, once you embrace the darkness, it can't hurt you anymore. Imagine fear itself standing in front of you. It says, I'll take your happiness. You laugh. It's already gone. It says, I'll take your hope. You smirk. Hope died long ago. It whispers, I'll kill you. And you grin. I've been dead inside for years. Tell me, how do you defeat someone who has already shaken hands with the abyss? That's why the dance with darkness is powerful. Because while the world is busy running from fear, you become the one who runs into it. While they're protecting themselves from pain, you make pain your partner. You don't just survive it, you use it, you feed on it, and every wound becomes another step in the dance, another rhythm in the chaos. You know why people fail? Because they resist. They fight their pain, they avoid their fear, they deny their darkness. And resistance makes it worse. The more you resist, the heavier it becomes. But the moment you stop resisting, when you say, fine, break me, kill me, destroy me, suddenly the weight lifts, because you've accepted it. And what you accept cannot control you anymore. That's when fear flips, it no longer chains you, it fuels you. That's when pain flips. It no longer weakens you, it sharpens you. That's when darkness flips, it no longer suffocates you, it crowns you. Most people think dancing with darkness means becoming evil. They're wrong. It doesn't mean cruelty, it means clarity. It means you've looked at every ugly piece of yourself, every failure, every regret, every broken dream, and instead of hiding it, you've embraced it. That makes you dangerous, because you're whole. You're not pretending anymore. And people fear what they can't understand. They fear the man who doesn't flinch, the man who smiles at pain, the man who laughs at fear, the man who has nothing left to lose, because he already lost it all and lived to tell the tale. When you've danced with darkness, you stop fearing rejection, you stop fearing betrayal, you stop fearing death, because you've already faced all three. And once you've made peace with your demons, no one can use them against you. Think about it, what can society threaten you with? Poverty. You've already starved. Loneliness. You've already been abandoned. Humiliation. You've already tasted it. Death. You've already died inside 1,000 times. So what do they have left? Nothing. And that's why you're untouchable. The dance with darkness is not about winning. It's not about defeating the demons. It's about realizing they were never your enemies. They were your initiation. They were the test. The world tries to protect people from pain, from fear, from the dark. But in doing so, they keep them weak and obedient. But when you embrace the dark, when you make it your home, you stop being a puppet. You stop being controlled. You become something else entirely, a force, a storm, a king crowned not by gold but by scars, untouchable not because you're fearless but because you walked into fear and came out laughing. And the best part, once you've danced with your own darkness, other people's shadows don't scare you anymore. Their threats, their judgments, their power, it all collapses. Because you see through it, you see the truth. They are terrified of their own demons. They hide behind masks, behind status, behind illusions. And you've already ripped yours off. That's why you walk differently. That's why your eyes carry fire. That's why your laugh cuts deeper than a scream. Because they know you've seen what they're still running from. You've survived what they still fear. And that makes you something they can't define, can't control, can't touch. Darkness is not the end, it's the beginning. Pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Fear is not weakness, it's the weapon. And once you understand that, once you truly accept it, you don't just walk with darkness. You dance with it, step by step, scar by scar, laugh by laugh, until the whole world realizes this isn't your curse. This is your crown. Power, such a funny word, isn't it? Everybody wants it, everybody chases it, but nobody understands it. They think power comes from money, or from muscles, or from the number of people clapping for them in the dark. Ha! What a joke. Real power is invisible. It lives right here. Taps head in the mind. See, pain is the foundation. Every time you fall, every time you break, every time life claws at your skin, it's writing lessons in your bones. You don't read them in books, you feel them in scars. Pain doesn't just hurt you. No, it educates you. It teaches you that you can bleed and still stand, you can lose and still laugh, you can die inside 100 times and still breathe. That, my friend, is where power begins. Most people avoid pain like it's a plague. They run, they hide, they cover their ears when life screams. But those who face it, those who let it carve into their flesh, those who don't flinch when it burns, those are the ones who become kings. Because power doesn't come from escaping pain, it comes from mastering it, wearing it, sitting on it like a throne.
No fear.
Fear is the other half of the story. Fear is the leash that controls everyone else. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of death. That's what keeps people quiet when they want to scream. That's what makes them slaves when they should be rulers. They don't live, they just survive, every move dictated by the whisper of fear in their ear. They obey it like a master, and masters love obedient dogs. But once you look fear in the eyes and laugh, once you realize it can't touch you unless you let it, that's when you become untouchable. Do you understand? Fear doesn't disappear, it's always there. But when you stop obeying it, it loses its bite. The dog barks, but the chain snaps, and suddenly you're free. Freedom, that's real power, not the kind they sell you in movies, not the kind they show off on TV with their fake smiles and rented cars. Freedom is standing in the storm without flinching. Freedom is laughing when the whole world points fingers. Freedom is knowing that fear can whisper in your ear all night, and you still won't kneel. That's the power that no army, no government, no fake king can touch. And here's the real punchline: pain and fear are not enemies, they are allies. Pain gives you endurance, fearlessness gives you dominance. Together, they crown you in a way no jewel ever could. Look around you. Everyone you admire is controlled by fear. They fear losing followers, fear losing status, fear losing control. Their crowns are fragile, made of glass. One crack, and it all shatters. But my crown is pain. It cannot break, it cannot be stolen. Because no one wants it. Who wants scars? Who wants sleepless nights? Who wants memories that cut like knives? Nobody. That's why nobody can take it from me. That is power, eternal, internal power. You can strip me of money, strip me of friends, strip me of titles. You can take away everything I own, but you cannot take away what I've survived. You cannot steal my scars. You cannot erase the fear I've conquered. That's mine. That's the throne I sit on, whether you bow or not. So ask yourself, what kind of power do you want? The kind that depends on applause, the kind that depends on fear of losing it, or the kind that no one can touch because it lives inside you. Because once you understand that, once you embrace pain as your teacher and fear as your servant, you don't need approval. You don't need recognition. You don't even need victory. You already won. You became untouchable. That's the philosophy of power. Simple, ruthless, beautiful. Pain crowns you king. Fear makes you untouchable. And the rest is just noise. Tell me, do you still want their fragile crowns? Or will you build your own from scars they'll never understand? You know what the world fears the most. Not gains, not death. The world fears chaos, because chaos doesn't play by rules. Chaos doesn't listen. Chaos doesn't obey. Chaos is free. And freedom, freedom terrifies those who want control. People like to believe order keeps them safe. Laws, systems, religions, routines, little cages dressed up as comfort. They wake up at the same hour, walk the same roads, punch the same clocks, and call it life. But it's not life, it's slavery with a smile. And the lock on that cage, fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being broke, fear of rejection, fear of failure. That fear is the leash around their necks. They obey because they're terrified to step outside the system. They worship the structure that strangles them because they can't imagine a world without rules. But chaos is freedom, because chaos doesn't beg for permission. Chaos doesn't bow to kings, bosses, or gods. Chaos is the wild laugh in the middle of silence, the man who walks through fire without blinking, the storm that breaks every chain and doesn't apologize. You want to be free. Stop fearing the collapse. Stop fearing the loss. Stop fearing the noise. Embrace it. Dance with it. Let chaos in, because the moment you let go of fear, they can't touch you anymore. Think about it. What can society threaten you with? Losing your job. So what? Jobs come and go. Rejection. It's just another word for redirection. Failure. That's just pain teaching you a new lesson. Death. How? The only guarantee in life. Once you laugh at their threats, their rules mean nothing. That's when you're untouchable. The cage was never locked. The fear was the lock. The moment you laugh at fear, the chains shatter. That's the secret they don't want you to know. They want you predictable, afraid, desperate for approval. Because an afraid man is an obedient man, but a fearless man, he's chaos walking, and chaos walking is free. Look around. The people who scare the system the most are the ones who don't care anymore. The ones who lost everything and came back laughing. The ones who stare fear in the eye and grin. You can't bribe them. You can't threaten them. You can't control them. That's why they're dangerous. Freedom is not comfort. Freedom is not safety. Freedom is chaos. And chaos is a crown you earn when you stop bowing to fear. So the next time fear whispers in your ear, don't take that risk. Don't speak your truth. Don't step out of line. You smile, you laugh, and you do it anyway. Because in that moment, you're no longer their slave. You're free. You're untouchable. Chaos doesn't destroy you. It destroys the cage you were trapped in. And when the dust settles, you'll realize you weren't born to kneel. You were born to stand. And that is freedom. You know what's funny? People spend their whole lives running from pain, running from fear, running from the truth. They build walls, they wear masks, they hide behind fake smiles and empty dreams. And still, life catches them. Pain always finds them, fear always grips them. And in the end, all that running, it changes nothing. But me, I stopped running, I stood still. I faced the fire when everyone else screamed. I let pain cut me open, let fear choke me until I couldn't breathe. And when it was done, when it had burned everything weak inside me, I laughed, because pain didn't break me, it crowned me. Fear didn't kill me, it made me untouchable. That's the truth no one wants to hear. Strength doesn't come from comfort. Power doesn't come from safety. It comes from agony, from scars that bleed and never fully heal, from nights you cry yourself to sleep and mornings you wake up anyway. That's the throne. That's the crown. You think kings are born. No, they're created, forged in suffering, shaped in shadows. Pain crowned me king. Every cut, every betrayal, every failure, it was another jewel in my crown. Not the kind you polish, not the kind that sparkles. No, this crown drips with blood, it rots with memory. It burns with every nightmare I survived, but I wear it proudly. Because unlike gold, pain can't be stolen. Unlike jewels, scars can't be bought. And unlike fragile crowns, mine will never break. And fear, fear, the greatest weapon in the world. Look around. Fear drives people to obey, to kneel, to beg. Fear keeps them quiet, keeps them chained. Everyone fears something: losing money, losing love, losing control. And so they live small, fragile lives, forever slaves to shadows that don't even exist. But I killed my fear, not by defeating it, by embracing it, by laughing at it. You see, once you've lost everything, once pain has already taken what you love, what's left to fear? Death. Death is just silence, rejection, betrayal, loneliness. I've been through all of it, and guess what? I'm still here. Fear has no grip on a man who has already drowned in it. That's what makes me untouchable. And here's the part that stings, the part no one wants to admit. You wear fear like a leash. It pulls you every day, tells you who to be, what to say, when to stay silent. Fear tells you not to chase your dreams because you might fail. Fear tells you not to love too deeply because you might get hurt. Fear tells you not to fight back because you might lose. So you stay weak, you stay safe, you stay invisible. But invisible men never wear crowns. They never become kings. They stay subjects, bowing to rulers who are no better, no stronger, just less afraid. That's the difference. Not talent, not luck, fear. That's what separates kings from pawns, predators from prey. The ones who rise are not the ones who never feel fear. They're the ones who laugh at it, who spit in its face, who say, "Do your worst, I've already survived worse." So yes, pain crowned me king. Fear made me untouchable. Not because I'm special, not because I'm different, but because I stopped pretending. I stopped running, and I embraced the darkness everyone else hides from. And now, I look around and I laugh. Because I see you with your fake smiles, your empty victories, your fragile happiness. I see how hard you try to look strong, while inside you're trembling. And I wonder what crowned you, what gave you strength. Was it money, fame, approval, lays? Because let me tell you something, if your crown can be taken, it isn't real. If your power depends on fear of others, you're just another slave. If your happiness depends on fragile things, people, status, comfort, then you're already broken. You just don't know it yet. But me, my crown was pain. My power was fear, and those can't be stolen. They live inside me. Every scar a jewel, every nightmare a reminder, every loss a weapon. That's why I'm king. That's why I'm untouchable. And maybe you could be too, if you stopped running, if you stopped pretending, if you let pain shape you instead of break you, if you faced fear head on and laughed at it even as it crushed you. Maybe then you'd rise, but you won't, will you? You'll keep running, keep hiding, keep living in cages you built for yourself. And that's why people like me will always rule people like you. The long pause, a slow, chilling laugh escapes. Pain crowned me king. Fear made me untouchable. But you're still bowing to shadows, still hiding from scars, still waiting for life to be kind. Newsflash, life isn't kind. It's cruel, it's merciless. It's a blade that cuts everyone. The only choice you have is, will you bleed and die, or bleed and rise? I already chose. And that's why I laugh last. That's why I laugh loudest. That's why my laugh will echo long after you're gone. Because pain crowned me king. Fear made me untouchable. And you're still waiting for a crown that will never come. So you made it to the end. Most people don't. They quit, they hide, they run back to their little illusions. But not you. You stayed. That means something dark and powerful lives inside you. Maybe pain already crowned you. Maybe fear is already shaping you. But this is only the beginning. If these words carved something into your soul, then subscribe. Not for me, for yourself. Because every time you return here, you sharpen that crown, you feed that fire, and you step closer to becoming untouchable. Now go and carry the laugh with you.